been a pretty chaotic week for Texas A&M football. An epic one that I'm sure Coach Sumlin will learn from, but hopefully not want to repeat. What do you make of the last couple days, the last week of Texas A&M football with the transferring of Kyle Allen and Kyler Murray?
Well, I think that, the best way to describe it is, it's kind of shocking. But, unless you've been there, unless you were in the meeting on the practice field, in the film rooms, you really have no idea or no understanding of why it happened or the reason. But, I think that it's very evident that you had two players that, for reasons the other felt that, they should leave and go someplace else. Now, is it tough on A&M? Yes. Is it tough on the football team? Yes. Is it tough on, Coach Sumlin? Yes. But it also sometimes can be the catalyst to, pull the players together and play hard. And you've seen that around the country at different times throughout the years. If something critical or drastic happens on the football team, and all of a sudden they become closer and play a lot harder every year.
Right, and like you were just saying, bringing a positive out of that a lot of the times, sometimes players do become closer, and the word is that, a lot of the players they're really rallying around Jake Hubenak. He had an impressive JUCO stance. I mean, he was one of the best in the country out of junior college, had some playing time this past season at Texas A&M, but now he's the guy. He went from third string to first string. What do you think it's like for Jake Hubenak right now?
Well, I think that, it's an opportunity, and every door closes, one's open. And I think that it's, without a doubt, an opportunity for him, and certainly will be a challenge. But, again, I think that if you look at every player, they, all of a sudden, they play a lot harder.
Right.
And, kind of history kind of tells you that throughout the years, teams have played harder when they have had adversity. Now, you got to go back and say you got plenty of time between now until the bowl game to certainly get him ready. And, defensively, I think that, the team defensively will play very well. And I'm sure that they will not ask him to do things that he can't do. And between now and him, it's up to the coaching staff to get him ready. And I feel, that will be foremost on the agenda. But again, you can't discard or discount that the players play a lot harder and make things happen.
What are your thoughts, and what are you hearing, and what can you share with us as far as this past week? It's been all about the Texas A&M quarterbacks, but up until this past week, there was a couple rumors about Coach Sumlin looking around, and even more than that, that there's an offensive coordinator search. What are your thoughts on the coaches?
Well, I think that when you look at the season and you look at assistant coaches around the country, and certainly the coordinators today, they carry the responsibility of being able to be in charge. So if the defense doesn't play well, then why are they not playing well? You look at the coordinator, and then same thing offensively.
And what will it be?
The responsibility of the coordinator is to make sure that his side of the football performs well enough to win games.
Right. And getting back to the quarterbacks, when you recruit one of the nation's best quarterbacks coming out of Kyle Allen's class in Kyle Allen, and then again the next year do the exact same thing with Kyler Murray. How did these coaches, you think, get these players to campus in the first place? Because they knew they were going to be playing right behind each other. It's like, why now is everyone deciding to transfer? I mean, does that lead any insight into?
I don't know why you want to transfer, and I do think that there had to be a reason for me that they did transfer, and the reason that they didn't transfer could be a range of not being happy to feeling that they weren't being put in the right offense at the right time, or who knows. And unfortunately, right now, you have to. It is what it is, and you have to set your belt up and move on.
And with Kyle Allen and Kyler Murray, there were two different quarterbacks, and then you've got Jake Kubinak and you have Tate Martell in 2017, so a while away. But what kind of offense really fits what Coach Selman wants to do with what kind of quarterback, fits the offense that Coach Selman really wants?
Well, I think that was the biggest concern all year was which quarterback and which offense were you really trying to plug in. And with Kyle Allen, you had a quarterback that was a drop back thrower, and then with Kyler Murray, you had a spread quarterback to run, the read option to run quarterback draws to run the sprints and get to the corner now. And I think that they tried to go back and forth to get the one that performed the best. And I just think that he certainly got out of sync. So 1 week you may be emphasizing some plays, and the next week you may be emphasizing some other plays. I felt that, a running back played really, really hard, and I really like him. I think he'd be a great fullback in the NFL. But you have enough talent at receivers to make a lot of things happen. And going back over it doesn't look like, production-wise, that we were able to make it happen.
Right, yes, sir. And so you've got Jake Kubinak stepping in now, but the next quarterback in line down the road isn't until 2017, and that's Tate Martell. And, it's just a verbal commitment, and he seems solid.
Yeah, right now the emphasis probably are going to change. And there's no question that, the emphasis will be on getting a quarterback or 2 quarterbacks, in this year, and hopefully they can get a quarterback or 2 quarterbacks in midterm. So, the emphasis on recruiting has changed, drastically.
Yes, sir, in just a matter of a week. And, have you ever been in a position like this where all of a sudden at this late in the game in the recruiting process, you have to go find a guy, especially, when it comes to a quarterback, a guy that probably wants to be recruited for quite a while? Is it hard to do that?
Well, no, you still have time. There's a lot of kids that you could have committed that you can, go back in, and there's a lot of kids who've been passed up in college that you can go back and maybe have a chance to get.
Yes, sir. The junior college kids, you can't turn your head on them. You see the success of Cam Newton and so many others, and just can't turn your head on them. So A&M moving forward, if you're Coach Selman after the past week and, talking with the media the other day about Kyler Murray wasn't at practice, and then he expects him to be at practice the next day and start for, the Aggies in the bowl game. How do you approach the team if you're Coach Selman? How do you rally them together? How do you keep their heads focused when much of college football and national media is all focused on Texas A&M and them, quote-unquote, falling apart?
Well, you certainly be honest with them, and I'm very Gary's certainly coached and someone is. And, players can accept the truth. And, the players that are on the field, they know that, that they will play and play hard. And sometimes, adversity makes them a little stronger, like we said earlier. But, I'm sure that Coach Sullivan told them the truth. And I'm sure that they accepted it, and they're going to win a vote.
And moving on, Jake Hubenak's the guy. He's the starter at the Music City Bowl. With what film you have and been able to see and seen him play a little bit this past season, what do you think about Jake Hubenak, and what does he bring to the table?
Well, I still think that we have an awful lot of talent still on the football team. We just have to have a game plan that we can execute and get the football in the hands of talented players to make plays. Kurt or Ricky Jones, or Reynolds, because they can certainly make plays.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Coach. We certainly appreciate your time in what's been a pretty crazy week for Texas A&M football.
Well, appreciate it, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.